Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to our next session on al-Arus al-Jami al-Hawi Li Tahdhib al-Nufus, the crown of the bridegroom, with regard to the refinement of the souls. Alhamdulillah, we've been journeying through this beautiful discourse of Imam Ibn Atā'illah al-Sikandari rahimahullah ta'ala, where he talks about the concept of tawbah, of forgiveness, of the effects of sins of this world, of the impact of the Qur'an, the impact of sending salutation to the Prophet ﷺ, how to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the benefits of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true nature of this world, and so forth. And he's been taking us on this journey through what we live every day, our daily lives, what we come across, what we face, and how we need to be in this life in order to be successful in the next. And the next area that he talks about and that he mentions is self-accountability, taking oneself to account, reckoning oneself, looking at one's own actions and assessing them, and then rectifying that which needs to be rectified. And he quotes here a beautiful incident that it says it has been rated that Shaykh Hasan al-Shadhili, who is actually the teacher of Imam Ibn Atā'illah. So the teacher of Imam Ibn Atā'illah was al-Abbas al-Mursi, and we mentioned him once or twice before. The teacher of al-Abbas al-Mursi was Imam al-Shaykh Hasan al-Shadhili rahimahullah ta'ala. And they were all from the North African regions, and from Egypt, from Fez, from those lands, Tunisia. They travelled those lands and lived there, Alexandria and so forth. He says, the Shaykh Abul Hassan, he says, I once stayed in the desert for 3 days, and this was common in the past, without anything being unveiled to me. So I went out there to get some clarity of mind, get away from the dunya, this world, and nothing really happened, or I didn't get anything that I was expecting or wanting to achieve. Then he says, some Christians passed by and saw me reclining. So they saw this person in the middle of nowhere. They understood he was worshipping Allah. So what did they do? He says, and they said, this is a Muslim priest. This is a Muslim religious person, sage. They then placed beside my head some food and departed. So he was out there in the middle of nowhere, wilderness. Obviously he did need support, he did need sustenance, etc. And so they left him some food behind. I said, how strange, how I have been given provision at the hands of the enemies and not given provision at the hands of loved ones. Meaning that I didn't expect these people, to come and help me. It would have been Muslims or somebody that knew me that would have helped me. This is amazing, weird, that is strange. Thereupon it was said, a hatif, a voice called out, a voice without a body. He heard the saying, a true man is not someone who is sustained by the hands of his loved ones. Rather, a true man is the one who is sustained at the hands of his enemies, at the hands of those who don't have any attachment to him. So this was showing us and allowing us to, or the point of this story was to show us that you got to work on yourself and look after yourself and take yourself to account. Allah will provide for you, whether it's at the hands of the people you love and you're around, or the hands of the enemies, or the hands of random people. Sustenance in the hands of Allah. But what was Imam Abu Hasan al-Shadhili doing? The great Shaykh was looking after himself, was working on himself and making sure he was in the right place and time. Or you treat yourself like your beast, Whenever it strays from the path, hit it so that it returns to the path. If only you were to treat yourself like your coat which you put on. How so? When it gets dirty, you wash it, and when anything of it rips, you mend it and fix it. Then you would become successful. So this is talking about our spiritual lives. When we, lose control, we become wild. To tame ourselves like we would with an animal. But how do we do that? We've got to be harsh. We've got to be firm against ourselves. We can't be soft and think that we're going to be okay, and our good manners are going to develop, and our spirituality is going to improve, and our trust in Allah and our gratitude and our patience is going to be better by just being lazy and lax and relaxed. No, it has to be a case of firmness, struggle, which will build these characteristics within us. Similarly, when we see that our problems, and we see problems in life, we try to fix them. You break your phone, you go to the shop to fix it. You rip your clothing, you go to the tailor. You need to clean something, you go to the dry cleaners, you go to the laundry. We know how to do things in life. But again, when we look at our inner, when things are wrong, when things are stained and dirty, do we cleanse ourselves? Do we repair and mend those inner problems, those inner tears and rips and blemishes that we have? And that's the real goal that we should all be aiming for. Shaykh Makini al-Asmar used to say, so Makini al-Asmar is one of the sort of seniors, like a teacher to Imam Ibn Atā'illah al-Sikandari, so he met him, he spent time with him. He says that, and he was a great scholar, great man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, known for his miracles and unveilings. So he says, in the beginning, meaning when I started my journey to improve myself, so this is relevant to us all. In the beginning, I used to take myself to account. So the concept of what we would call Arabic muhasabah. So Imam Ibn Atā'illah is talking about this concept of muhasabah. When I used to take myself to account in the beginning, I used to look at the end of the day, so muhasabah is when at the end of the day you account. That's what accounting is. You got everything, you do your transactions during the day. At the end you take account. So you're not, whilst you're doing things, necessarily always aware or rectifying or doing everything that needs to be done. But at the end of the day you kind of look back and you take yourself to account. You look back at what's wrong, what's right, what's good, what's bad, what's missing. This is even in like accounts of a business and bookkeeping. Similarly, this is for the self or the soul and our spirituality. So this is what he would do. And he said, and I would say, I have said such and such today. And I would find 3 or 4 words, meaning there was, alhamdulillah, there wasn't much in his accountability that he had to answer for. So he'd find a few things. One day there was with him a Shaykh who was around 90 years of age. He said, "O my master, I complain to you of the immensity of my sins." The Shaykh replied to him, "This is something with which we are not familiar. I am not aware of ever committing a sin." So he was finding 3 or 4 words, and that's not bad. That's like, wow, 3 or 4 things a day, do tawbah, rectify your affairs, start fresh. He went to one of the elderly and he said, help me in this. He said, we can't help you. We don't know what this is. We never find any sins. We don't do this. In other words, I'm above and beyond this. Although the Arabic can read, and in some of the copies it says the other way around, that the old man said, I do not know of not ever committing a sin, meaning I've always committed sins, and you're just on 3 or 4. So that's probably the more likely meaning, that this old man who's just been sinning all his life finds this young man who's on a journey to improve himself only finding a few faults. What this means is that, first of all, Shaykh Makini al-Asmar was a very pious man and had very little faults, but even those little faults he was detecting because he was holding himself to account. Now the question is, how many of us at the end of the day look back and say, right, what did I do? Good, bad, note it down. Bad language, incompetency in something, hurt someone, did something wrong with food, whatever, everything. Could be so many things. Missed my prayers, wasn't kind to somebody, didn't open the door, drove rudely and aggressively. Look back at your day and the things you've done, and you'll be like, wow, this is what I do in my day. This is the things I get up to. Wasted time on television, was ignored my children, ignored my spouse, was more concerned about a television program. You look back at your day, look at every little thing in your day and evaluate and give relevance and importance to what you think you should, and you really will find that we waste our lives and that we are using this precious time we have for absolutely nothing, for worthless things of this world. Some people play games all day and night on their devices. Some people chat and communicate, and some people just follow social media crazes and look at posts and content. Right? It's all about content today, and that's what's going on. And YouTube content and Facebook content, Instagram content and video content and picture content and whatnot, and podcasts, and it's all about consumership, right? It's all about consumption. And we are now consuming not just food or consuming this element of nutrition or whatever, we're consuming everything. You know, whether it's entertainment, it's nourishment of our minds, of our souls, but it's a temporary nourishment. It's not really nourishment, it's a distraction. But we think it's providing us with what we need. No, it's providing us with what our egos want, what our lower self wants. But it's not providing us with what our soul needs, what our true state of being, our heart inside needs. That's not getting nourished, that's not getting sustained. But because of this massive distraction, we don't realize the actual damage it's causing to our souls. We're so distracted by the distractions of this world, so the joys and pleasures of this world. We consume them, that we actually don't even realize how damaged our souls and hearts have become, how ruined they are, and how empty they are of any goodness. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to take ourselves to account, to allow us to see deep within where we're going wrong and to rectify that. Then he just carries on to talk about this kind of concept. He says, just as this world has people who suffice those who depend upon them, the hereafter also has people who relieve the needs of those who depend upon them. So who's going to help us on the akhirah? He says, do not say we have searched but did not find. If you have searched with sincerity, then you would have found them. The reason for you not finding them is your lack of preparation. A bride is not present to a profligate. If you want to see the bride, then you have to forsake immorality. If you forsake immorality, you will see Allah's friends. In other words, we have access to people that will help us in this life and then in the next life. There are people around us that are willing to give us guidance and sit with us and teach us and help us and make dua for us and talk to us. And in the next life, they will be there as well. They will have intercession by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are people of piety. They are people of goodness. But we ourselves don't search for them. We ourselves give up. We ourselves say, oh, I don't know where they are. Where are the awliya? Where are the good people? There's a saying, the person who says all the good people have gone, he's the first to be destroyed. The person who says dhahab al-khair, dhahab the good has gone, the good people have gone, then he's the first of everyone to be destroyed, because they're not gone. They're always around us. They can be hidden. It can be hard to find. But if we were prepared, we'd meet them. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you to the meeting of His friends and the pious. Allah's friends are many and their numbers do not diminish. If they were to diminish by even one, the light of prophethood would diminish, meaning that what the Prophet gave continues throughout his ummah. Now if when one passes away, it's passed on to another, and the goodness in this ummah will remain. And the Prophet actually said, I don't know if the beginning of this ummah is good or the end of this ummah is good. So people always think we're in a bad state, we're going, the Prophet actually said the end. Why? Because we have Isa alayhi salam. These are our beliefs, the return of Isa alayhi salam, the Mahdi, the Khilafah al-Rashida will be established according to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In between there is a mess. So, maybe we are in that mess. We ask Allah to grant us the highest levels of morality and piety and give us the company of the pious. And that's not to say that just because we are in the middle means we have to experience the worst of things. That's up to us what we make of our opportunities. If you love someone, you will not reach him until you are worthy of reaching him, and that is not until you have amended your ways. Shaykh Abul Hasan al-Shadili also said, the friends of Allah are like brides, and brides are not seen by criminals, meaning you have to be prepared, you have to know protocol, you have to be a person worthy to be given access, you have to have that bond, that connection, that permission, and that comes through your hard work, your piety, your searching, your efforts. And once you made those efforts, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you ask, and Allah will give. And this is where we finish today, inshallah ta'ala, in the fact that how do we go about doing that? Self-accountability. Look at yourself and realize where your problems are. Start becoming aware. It starts with self-awareness. It starts with accountability to see where the gaps are, see where the hiccups are occurring, and then to address one by one. So if you see in your day, right, 10 bad things, right, what's one that I can remove? You know what, I wasn't kind at this point. I need to be kind, I need to be soft. I didn't drive, I drove in an aggressive way, right, I need to, when I drive, calm, deep breaths. Don't need to rush. If I'm 2 minutes later out to work, so be it. Let me calmly drive to work. I was quite, neglectful of my family, friends, work, something. I need to pay more attention and be, more concerned and show sincerity and love. So you need to identify those things first before you can rectify them. And once you start rectifying them, you'll start making your journey to become a good person yourself, a person worthy of being called obedient, or being called, God-fearing, righteous. But also you will gain access to the pious servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you'll benefit more and more through their company until you reach greater heights and greater goodness, inshallah ta'ala. Thank you for joining us this week. We hope we see you next time. Keep sending your du'as. Thank you to the Imam Ghazali Institute and everyone involved, and to yourselves for being a part of these sessions. We hope there's benefit for you and your families, and we take something and practical and practice this at home and act upon it and try to make that change. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.